Okay, I think we're almost live. As soon as it stops spinning. All right, hi guys. It is Benny
Deuce, deuce.
again coming at you live,
Double OG, triple OG.
coming with the intense fellowship. And tonight, I feel like it's going to be. You think it's going to get intense between us?
I can make it into.
You can't make it intense. It has to be natural. It has to really come from you. And
Oh, I'll make it natural.
all right, so tonight, guys,
You know what?
we watched. You want me to wait for a
Yeah,
little while?
yeah. You get
Okay,
it.
so what you want to talk about while we wait?
What's wrong with people? Huh?
You want to talk about what's wrong with people?
Yeah, I mean, is it, and I don't mean kids. I don't mean, you know, adolescents. I mean like grown adults who just, I don't know.
You gotta be more specific.
I'm trying to be. I'm not very fond of people anyway, so I'm trying to where I'm, you know, come up with it.
So your question is, what's wrong with people?
Yeah, I mean, is it just society is just totally changed and the values
Hey James, how are you?
the values that we had before are no more. We've forgotten them because we're older and the times have changed, so we're gonna just change with the times. Or I mean, used to
I
be
don't.
a time when your word was your bond. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Not so much anymore. Well, you said you were gonna do so and so. Oh well, I ain't want to. I'm like, niggas can't trust you.
Don't
I'm
say
sorry,
niggas.
I did.
Don't say that on our live.
People can't trust you.
Okay, so he wants to know. It says we have some three viewers right now. I only see James, but I don't know. Anyway, so his question is, and this is just light talk that we're having until some,
Just light banter.
yes, some light banter until people decide, more people decide to join us. So the question is, I feel like we can't ask the question, what's wrong with people? So
Well,
the
that's why I
question
said.
is
Well,
like,
that's why I said
what
people
has
don't hold to their
changed?
words.
Do you feel like there was ever a time that people's word was their bond?
Yeah.
Okay, so the question is, what has changed that makes people not as loyal or trustworthy as they used to be?
Well, that's kind of what I said. I said society changed it to where
Hey, cousin.
people, are just whatever. I mean, concerns. Because like I say, seeing as I'm a spry 63. I remember a
He looking
time,
like
in the
63.
70s when I was going to see Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know what I'm saying? If people said something, they stuck to it. They held to their guns, bang bang. Now it's just, or better yet, better yet, better yet. But the problem is,
Not that I'm listening to you.
better yet, better yet.
Okay, Eureka says, absolutely, it's all in how it is said. Be respectful and tactful in your delivery so that it's received well. So you think that the issue is that people don't like what you're saying and how you're saying it, and that's how come they can't. Their word is not their bond. Is that what you?
You would have to ask Eureka because what I was gonna say is a lot of times stuff isn't received well because of where people are in their mentality. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I may be in a different mental plateau than they are. So I'm saying one thing, but they can't understand or get that or whatever it is. People just vex me. I don't like people. Let's just look. I don't like people in general for the most part. I don't.
Well,
You know, because people just play too many games. I don't know. I don't know if it's too many bad relationships. I don't know if it's they weren't hugged enough as a kid like me. You know, it made me a very stoic, unemotional person because I wasn't hugged enough as a child. But I still show love. I still try to hold true to what I say. I still try to. Uh,
I think it's because like the value system in America has changed, and when our like when our parents was growing up and stuff like that, they just had a different set of values, and their parents taught them a different set of values. But I do think it's true when they say that, like, as the parents get younger, they don't teach those values to their kids, and they therefore can't pass those values on to anyone else, right?
like just like here we go. Oh shoot, it's about to get deep.
Oh Lord.
My God. Seriously,
Go ahead.
like back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, people cheat. I mean, cheating's been going on since the sun rose on
Charlie said he don't like people either.
Amen, brother. Amen. But now, like, back in my day when people was growing up, people cheated back then too. You know what I'm saying? But the guys or women who cheated, still took care of home. They still made sure everything was going on. Everybody had food. Everybody had clothes. The wife was taken care of. She was somewhat happy to a degree. We just gonna keep sharing stuff on my phone? Like I want to be sharing stuff? Why don't we keep my phone?
Well, I didn't realize it was going to show. Can you just pay attention to what you're doing?
Jesus. I said I don't like people. You want me to share stuff on my phone? I don't like people. You know what I'm saying? You get it? But
Michelle
no.
said preach.
I mean, but seriously, it's like nowadays dudes be, and I can't speak for women because I'm not a woman, and I don't talk to women about their cheating stuff because I don't. That can be a
We don't
whole
cheat. Women don't
that
cheat.
that could be that could be a whole different.
Well, that's women don't cheat. So we're going to stop
That's a
you right
lie.
there.
That's a lie.
Okay, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Like dudes will be out here cheating now.
Hey, Ray.
Woman won't be happy. Kids ain't got no food. Bills ain't getting paid. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to be funny. It's like you kind of had to earn your right to cheat back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't just up and
Yeah,
just
now
be
that's
like,
true. That's true. Back in the day, if a man was cheating, it was, first of all, I think it was turned a blind eye to it because he was taking care of everything at home. So it wasn't like, you know what I mean? He's not helping with the bills. I don't think back in the day they helped as much with the kids anyway, but it's not like he's not paying the bills and stuff like that. And so it was but also, again, and I think this goes along with the society and stuff like that, is that men cheated more respectfully, if that's a thing,
I
that
don't.
men cheated more respectfully. A man back in the day had a whole family
In the next block.
in the next block. But here's what happened. The other
Ooh,
family,
sorry.
the lady never tried to call the wife. The lady never tried to stop by the wife's house,
Hold
unless
on.
they kind of already knew each other. But she still stayed in her lane.
But hold up. She didn't call the wife because she had to, she had
Thank
to.
you, Michelle. She said we so cute.
Oh, that's fair. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But I mean, back then when you had to call somebody, you had to call Myrtle at the phone company and dial,
No. So
Montana's to the.
you're saying that the side chick
It was
didn't
more
say
work.
anything to the main chick because it was more work? Get out of
Yeah.
here. You just said she lived around the corner, so it wasn't that hard to go around the corner.
But he ain't know what house around the corner. You see what I'm saying? They ain't
Oh,
know what
oh, they
house.
know what house.
They don't know. Nah. Trust me, they ain't know. You know what I'm
So now I think that they cheated more respectfully back then. Everybody stayed in their lane. Everybody played their part. You know what I mean? He wasn't bringing home no STDs to the wife. He was handling stuff over there and handling stuff over here. And that's not, now they messy. You know what I mean?
saying? And back then,
Ray, this is not even really a topic. Like,
this is our like banter.
we started just talking because we wanted to do a little bit of talking before people started coming in, before we started the real topic. And so it sounds like it's turning into a real topic. But
I don't have to.
his question was, why are people this way? Like, so he was asking, like, why are people now, they don't have the same loyalty, they don't have the same morals, they don't have the same values. It used to be a time when your word was your bond, and you could depend on somebody. If they said, this is what I'm gonna do and this is how I'm gonna do it, you could depend on, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And I say that it's just because society has changed.
Like Ray Charles. He was out doing this thing, feeling rest up, but he had them bills. Hey, Ray, you knows what you did, so don't act like Ray Charles didn't do the whole.
Listen, enough of that. Can you?
But I'm saying, but he cheated. He took care of the house and everything, and the wife's only complaint was, I mean, he out there with them women's, but that was the only complaint. I mean, it's a big complaint. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, but man, come on, man.
Okay,
Anyway,
Ray said that cheating involves added unnecessary drama. folks can't play their role. And I think that's the biggest
Yeah.
issue. Now, I'm going to say this, and then hopefully we can try to move away from this topic, but we may not. I, I know it's a very unpopular opinion, but I,
Ah, it's a podcast. Sorry.
but I have always said that I get the statement that side chicks are winning. And what that means to me is if you play your role, then it's not a hard job. Like at the end of the day, what happens is number one, you forget what you signed up for. Like when I start dealing with you, assuming that you were on the up and up, because I guess it's different if I find out in the middle that you had a wife or a girlfriend. But assuming that I knew up front that you had a wife or a girlfriend, and you said, well, I just want this side situation. It is now my job to decide, is this something I really want to do? And a lot of times women sign up and say, yeah, I'm with it. And then they fall in love and then they want things to change and then they want you to leave them and then they want more, but you can't do that. So part of the problem is women don't, like Ray said, play their role. Here's the thing, and I have been a side chick before. It's not even necessarily something I'm proud of, but when I was a side chick, I was happy. But I have been a side chick before, and there were situations where I realized, listen, I'm in love with this man, and here's my choices. Either I'm going to deal with my love on my own, or I'm going to end this relationship. And I've done both. In one situation, I ended the relationship because I was like, this is going nowhere. The only thing I'm doing is signing myself up to be hurt and in pain and alone. So in one of the situations, I ended the relationship, and in the other one, I didn't. But we had an open dialogue where we talked. He knew how I felt about him. At some point, he started telling me he loved me. But to this day, that man is still with his wife. Well, and when we started dealing with each other, they weren't actually married. But he was always up front and was like, I'm going to propose to her. You know what I mean? And for me, it was at the time that's what I wanted in my life. I enjoy being a side chick because I don't want to be tied down by no dude. I don't want to answer to no dude. So if you got a whole wife or a girlfriend, I don't have to be available to you 24/7. I don't have to always answer your calls. I don't have, you know what I mean? And so the side chick job is for kicks and giggles. You know what I mean? Every now and then we'll listen. I was the type of woman that would listen to whatever issues you was having with your real woman. But for the most part, you come to me for sex and comfort and food and fun. Like, you know what I mean? I ain't dealing with no bill issues. I ain't dealing with no kid issues. You know what I mean? And so, and some of my girlfriends were always like, well, that's because the men that I had, were found myself in side chick situations and didn't treat me like a side chick. And that may be true. Because even as a side chick, I never felt like, oh, I ain't nothing but this nigga's side chick. Like they always
Hold up.
answer my
Wait, no,
calls
no,
when
no,
I
no, no.
called.
Hold up. You can't say nigga.
Oh, I can't say nigga, I'm sorry.
If I can't say it, you can't say
They
it.
buried the N word. Okay.
I did.
So they always answer my calls when I call. There was never a time that I would be like, oh, it's after 10, so I can't call them. You know what I mean? So maybe it was just the way those situations were handled. But one thing was for certain is that I played my role.
Now hold up. Now hold up. Now you said before. You said people forgot their place. Did they hold up? But I was saying, did they forget their place or did they just want more? It's two
No,
different.
they
That's two different things.
no, it's not
It
because
is.
it's not. It's both maybe because it's still forgetting your place because once again, you knew what you signed up for when you signed up for it. So even if even if I wanted more, I had to remind myself you knew what it was when you came into this situation. So it's
I mean,
not
I
his
get it.
problem. It's the same thing. Like even if you're not a side chick, if you start, I talk to women all the time, and they started off the situation saying we just kicking it, we just friends with benefits. You knew that's what you said. You had a discussion. It was no gray area. Y'all talked about it. Y'all agreed. I don't want nothing serious. We friends with benefits. And then you fall in love or you catch other feelings. It's not his job or his responsibility, and he's not the worst dude in the world because he doesn't want more because you decided you want more. You know what I'm saying? Because you forgot your role and the role that you
I
signed up
disagree with that.
for.
I disagree with that because you don't forget your role. You just because you want more doesn't mean you forgot your role. It doesn't mean that.
Okay, let me read some of the comments. Michelle says, yes, back in the day, side dudes and side chicks, which I was guilty of being one time, stayed in their place.
I mean, and let's also even this out too, because I don't want women to feel like we're bashing or we're putting them in a negative light. I was a side dude and I loved it. Hit me when I tell you. When I got moved from the side dude to the main dude, I was mad. I was like, "What are you doing?"
See, but you didn't sign up to be the main dude.
I didn't.
So, but you allowed her to put you in that position. You could have
No, I
chosen
no,
not
I had
to.
I had an option,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, I mean, well, she got money. I mean, she gonna take care of this.
Veronica, we have not just met. I don't know why you put your hand on your forehead.
I'm just like,
Okay.
yeah, I was like, I don't understand why you're doing that. Cause I mean, hear me, and I was the entire side dude. Like when her ringtone was boyfriend number two, and I was cool with it. Ain't got nothing to prove. Don't fuss. Don't fight. Don't argue.
Yeah.
I love that song. That was the ringtone. So when I was like, cause she's like, I think about leaving. Ooh, I'm about to say his name. I'm thinking about leaving Clarence. We'll go with Clarence. That's an old name. And I was like, well, for what? He giving us money. We get to go spend it. What is you doing? He just bought you this house. What are you doing? And then I was like, well, she still got some loops. I mean, I can benefit. So therefore, I chose to be bumped up a peg. But I didn't change. I didn't change none of how I act. I still act like I was boyfriend number two.
Okay, so Ray said the platform of sex. Veronica said people are stupid.
They are.
Then Ray said establish the hall pass clause. Now, hold on, I'm gonna come back to that. Ray says exactly. The D goes in. Not always.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, and now once it goes in, I mean, if it and see and that's the other thing. You got to know how to pull back and not give
You
everybody your
can't give it
all.
all. You know what I
Can't
mean?
give everybody your A game. You
You
know what I'm
can't pull out
saying?
all the stops if that ain't really your like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then she
Because when
like,
you
how
do,
you gonna do
then you
all
got
that?
problems.
Yeah. Then now she crazy.
No, she was already crazy. You
Okay,
just unlocked the crazy.
Veronica says these women too much. They feel like they're the main. And and I think that's true. I have said to men before, um, Michelle says, she said, I love y'all, but my side husband needs me.
Hey,
Do what you gotta do, Michelle. We get it. I do think that's true also. Because what happens is, hey Stacy, what happens is that m- men in particular, and I know that women do it sometimes too, but I'm a woman, so I have to speak from my perspective. Men in particular give a lot of mixed signals. So if you telling a girl this is what it is, we only friends with benefits or F buddies, then you can't also be, what I mean, checking up on their kids. And, it's certain boundaries that you have to establish so that it always remains in the forefront of your mind that that's not the relationship that we're in. And once you start treating it like that's your girl, then even if you said I don't want no girl right now, but you treat her like your girl. And that's not, I've heard dudes say, well, I'm just the type of dude that cares and stuff like that. Well, you got to figure out for you the balance.
yeah, because I'm not.
You don't care.
If that's what it is, that's what it is. You don't want to hear about Tommy's day at school? Nah, I don't even want to hear Tommy's name. I don't need to know about Tommy. Tommy's of no consequence to me at all. And I always come back to Jay Z. He's so knowledgeable. That brother said the problem is you dudes treat the one that you humping with the same respect
Hmm.
that you treat the one that you loving, and you can't do that.
You can't.
You can't.
And not to say that you would be disrespectful to him,
Right.
but there has to be, no, I'm not condoning disrespect,
Yeah, me
but there
neither.
has to be something that distinguishes between the fact that you're not my girl, you're not my woman. Like we're friends, we have good times, you know what I mean? But something that establishes that I'm not going to do the same things for you that I would do if you were my woman.
One more minute. Be one
So
switch.
Ray said, I play my role if I allowed that. And he said, when I say feelings, I'm speaking of all aspects of feelings.
And
Men definitely give mixed signals. You got to establish the bend and send program. Right. So, okay. So I said I was going to come back to this is kind of controversial, I guess, the whole hall pass thing.
you
What you
got
think about the hall
you
pass?
got 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
I mean, whatever.
So do I get a hall pass?
Sure.
know what? I think that people should do what works for them in relationships. And I think part of the issue is that we are all so stuck in conforming to the norms of relationships that anything outside of the relationship norm, you think that it's not right.
Society's norm.
Right, society's norm. And so, and I think that's how come I think people are starting to think outside the box. And that's how come like poly relationships and stuff like that have become such a big hot topic now because it's people are now beginning to say, hey, I can do my relationship however I want to do it.
Because I'm telling you, I didn't ended up in relationships that I didn't ask for. I'm like, we're not doing that. What do you mean? And then you try and break up with them, and y'all ain't even together. And it's just like, why are we breaking up and we ain't together? I don't understand what is going on here. But
So
so
Ray
it's like,
said that the hall pass should be done equally. So if
oh
I get a
yeah,
hall pass, you get a hall pass.
any other way it's uncivilized. What are we
Yeah.
talking about?
I think, for me, I just think that there's a difference between sex and love. So, I mean, when you talk about the hall pass, it's not that major a deal for me. As long as we're open and honest with each other beforehand. Like you
Completely
can't,
open.
yeah, you can't come after you did it and be like, well, I just needed a pass. Like that ain't gonna work. But
Right. You can't hold back. Just have the entire open conversation and be open.
yeah.
Like a 7-Eleven, just open.
Okay, so you want to finish? We're done with this?
Maybe.
Okay, we're done with this for now. Unless y'all feel like you want to talk some more about it. So what we really wanted to talk about, we watched the show. I don't know how many people watched this show. It's called Family and Fiance, Family or Fiance. And on the show, the girl's family did not like the guy that she was planning to marry because he on their second date, he asked her if she would consider getting braces, and she got them. So her family was really struggling um with that, you know what I mean? The fact because they were like, and they asked him if she had said no, I like my teeth the way they are, would you have continued to date her? And he said no. So that got me and Brian to talking and so his sister was like, well, it's all about preferences and we all have preferences. And I was like, I don't feel like that's the same thing as preferences. We do all have preferences. Like I might like light men or tall men. That's a preference. But like that to me, that's like meeting a guy, you know what I mean, that weighs 300 pounds. And then I say to him, would you consider losing 150 pounds? And then, like, is that so what do y'all think about that? Like, is it cool to not even somebody because that was their second date. They weren't even in a relationship. So like, is it cool to like ask the person that you're interested in or dating to change something about their
Physically change.
to physically change something about their appearance? Like, what y'all think? While y'all thinking about that, Christy did say that she thinks that that's cheating. The hall pass thing is cheating, and that's cool. Like everything, isn't for everybody. And I always tell people do what makes you feel good and do what makes you great. And but I don't judge other people for doing something differently than I choose to do. So Ray said the hell. Well, that's what I said, Ray. But the guy was dead serious, like he didn't understand why anybody was upset. And he was like, I have preferences. And I guess he liked everything about her but her teeth. And they met like on a dating site. So I'm guessing that maybe on the dating app, she had a lot of pictures
Which wasn't smiling.
where she wasn't smiling so you could see her teeth.
A lot of these.
And so when they got on the first date, I'm guessing he saw the teeth and was like, oh no. So he asked her for a second date
So
and asked her, like, have you ever thought about getting braces? So I was just like, wait, what? And so, what would you do? What would you do? Like when I met you, what would you do if I had said to you, like, would you ever consider just shaving all the hair off your face? Because I mean, I like you, but I don't really like all the hair.
I'm like, then why are we here?
And not only that, not only changing the physical appearance, but the family was also upset because they said that he convinced her to become an atheist. Because she said that like on their first date or whatever date they had, she asked him about saying grace and he didn't want to do it. And so then they started having all these deep conversations about religion and what's real and what's not. And now she thinks she's an atheist. So her family was like, and now he's convinced her that she's an atheist. So like, I don't know. I mean, so you wouldn't even. So what if it was something? So what is it that I could ask you to do that you might be like, all right, I'll do that.
You can't ask me nothing on my second date. You don't even know me. You better hold that for later on or
Okay.
walk away.
Ray says, physical appearance for defining another, let alone an individual I'm dating. Hell no. The fuck?
This is what I'm saying. It's real times.
I mean, I'm just trying to think like if I met a man and he was like, I mean, I'm really feeling you. I mean, but have you ever thought about losing 80 pounds? Like, what do you say to that? But she did it. She got the braces.
Huh.
I,
But I still think even before that she was a very. I'm not really looking. I'm not trying to offend nobody. So just hear
okay,
what.
hold on. Let me see. This is a good one. She says, I'm going through this now with my husband. I've been married for 18 months. He thought I had braids. He didn't realize that my hair was locked and real. He wants me to cut them and go back to a perm like I had when we dated in high school. I told him this is who I am, take it or leave it. So Angel, so how are y'all working that out? Like and how soon after y'all got married or whatever? Because I know that you guys dated back in high school. So, but how soon after y'all got married did he start bringing up this hair thing? And I mean, and that's a touchy subject because even for us, for instance, my husband does not like short hair, like super short hair on women. And so,
I mean, short like mine. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be in the bed like, hey, what's up, Tyrone? What's going on with you? You know what I'm saying?
so I literally asked him like 2 days ago if I shaved my head when he stayed, and he was like, "No, I would leave." And I'm like, "You would leave an otherwise perfectly happy marriage just because I shaved my head?" And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "But if I didn't leave, you would want to leave me because I would just be like, 'Hey man, can you pass me that remote?'" And I was like, "So, but isn't it like? But don't we sometimes do things because our spouse likes him? So what's the difference of us like?" My husband, I like his hair when he wears it on the top of his head. When he wears it longer and curly, because he got that good, grain of hair that you can just wet and it curls right up. He does. And so I like it longer and curly. He does not like it at all. So how does that work in relationships when like so what do you because I feel like part of what we're supposed to do as a couple, as husband and wife, is that we are supposed to try to make each other like I want my husband to be happy to look at me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want him to look over and be like, she looking like she looking again. Like you know what I
What's
mean?
up, bro?
So and that's another reason why, I haven't cut my hair at all. Because I know that he prefers longer hair. Uh, and I like short haircuts. But I'm not
Hold on.
dead set against like, you know what I mean, having long hair. So Angel, so how is that gonna play out? Like how do you feel like y'all are gonna work that out?
Hold up. You can cut your hair. I'm not saying I don't see you cutting your hair like mine and being like, this is what I want to do and this is what I want to be. I don't think that's. I mean, like I say, short like Halle Berry used to wear it or whatever it is, like Nita
Yeah.
Baker. I'm fine with all of that
But
because no, because I can still touch and I'm like woman. You know what I'm saying? If it's short like mine, I'm like, just,
so Ray wants to know how does that affect our marriage? The whole us kind of having, I guess, differing opinions on how we like to look at each other.
I mean, like I say, I'm about balance. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've wanted short, I've wanted long. I just go back and forth. The
Yeah,
plus
that's really how we work that out. He
and yeah,
he
and the
kind
plus
of goes back and forth,
yeah, and
like
the plus for
yeah,
me is like my hair grows fast, so
it
it's
does.
like so it's not. It won't be a long period of time before it's back the way she would like me to wear it if I decide to wear it that way. Like right now, it's like extremely hot. I don't, I don't want anything else to make me hot. On top of having to wear all black all day at work, it's hot. So that's just like right now. I mean, even
Oh,
like
you
right
know
now,
what else we argue about? We don't argue about it, but we disagree about. I love to wear my hair up in a bun, and he hates the bun. Hates the bun. So even when I get braids or you know what I mean, when I don't feel like combing my
No, hold
hair,
on.
I
No,
put my hair up in a bun
hold
all the
on.
time.
It's not that I hate the bun. I just hate that you always want to wear just the bun.
You know,
Because
cause like you said, it's hot. It's easy. I don't like hair all in my face and everything, so I just put it up in a bun. I don't got to think about it, and it's you know what I mean.
but then it turns into, ooh, this just won't sit still. And you pushing it back up, and it's like, ooh, it's getting kind of heavy. So it's like, if you had it down, it wouldn't be.
Okay, no. So Ray was asking Angel, um, how are y'all? How is it affecting their relationship? This disagreement that they're having. So Ray says, yeah, we do things to impress our spouse, however, not to the point of surgery or cosmetic transitions.
Ah, what was the word? Hold on, read it again. I want
Huh?
to make sure. I want to make sure I answer that. Read it again. Read what
The
he said.
comment,
Yeah, read what he said.
he said, we do,
Impressed. There you go.
yeah.
I don't do nothing to impress this woman, and that might sound bad.
That's not true. That's not true. He'll be like, why you let me walk around looking like a caveman? I got a wife now, so let me go in here and shave.
It's not to impress, it's to make you happy.
So
I
that's
feel
not
like
the
you.
same.
No, impress is like to get your attention and be like, I don't know. Let me put
Oh.
that back. I don't really. That's how I take impressing somebody. I
No,
could
I
be
mean, you
wrong,
know, even like right now, I'm not working. And so, like, I try to make sure, unless it's just one of those days I'm really not feeling it deep down in my spirit, I try to make sure that, like, when he comes home from work, that I have gotten up, washed my face, brushed my teeth, did something to my hair, smell good, just because I feel like, you know what I mean? He shouldn't have to walk in and look at me looking like I'm looking. So I guess that's impressing,
man.
trying to
I
impress
just,
you.
man, look, everybody's already that one day where they just like don't touch no water, don't brush no teeth, hair everywhere. I think everybody should get that one day at least every other week.
Well, that's what I said. Occasionally, you know what I mean, you'll come in and I'm laying in the same spot. You know what I mean? But for the most part, so I guess that is me trying to impress you. And I just feel like it's, you know what I mean, it looks lazy. So it's like, I've been working all damn day and I come home and you laying around looking like you looking. So I feel
But
like I should be looking like something when he gets home so he's happy to see me.
I also work around a bunch of men, so anything that's soft is a plus. So it don't matter if you look like you look.
He said impressed equals happiness.
Does it?
So let me tell y'all, I
Hold on,
have,
hold on. And I say that because seriously, a lot of times people do things to impress their spouse or their mate or their significant other. But
mhm.
in their doing that, a lot of times the person doing the impressing isn't happy. So at what point is that surrender? You know what I'm saying? Because now you're giving up your happiness to make somebody else happy. So it's like, are y'all happy for real? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of why, like with the hair, I go back and forth. I'm like, I get some happiness when it's short. She gets happiness when it's long. Because if I'm just doing it to keep her happy, eventually I either am not happy or I tend to, or you can tend to, the word. No, no, no,
I don't know the word. What you
had a brain fart.
compromise?
No, 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 no.
Hey, Philip.
I can't think of the word.
I mean, yeah, you know, so I know that he hates the bun, and I usually wear the bun around the house. But the compromise is that, like, if we're going out together, then I will normally wear it down or in a different style, so it's not always in the bun.
And then and when we go out, I will shave because I'm going to work. I'm like, I don't care how I look at these people. It's whatever. I'm not presenting nothing to them, but just whatever.
No, and you know what? You have done some changing for me, I guess, a little bit, because he loves to wear black, and all he ever wants to wear is black. And so, you know, when he got here, I was like, we got to get you some color.
Black is slimming.
We gotta get you some color in your wardrobe.
Trying to keep my girlish figure.
So I have pushed him outside of his I don't know what happened to the video. Let's see.
Yeah, if you can still see us, give us a thumbs up. Is it done?
I don't know.
Still see us, give us a thumbs up. Is it done?
I guess
Y'all
they
still can
can
see me?
still see us. Okay guys, well, I guess we'll keep talking even though we can't see ourselves any longer. It's a good thing I know I'm already cute. Um, so Angel responded and she said, okay, guys, well, I guess we'll keep talking.
This one.
She said, Ray, it doesn't affect us at all. My hair is down my ass like it was when I had a perm. We connected again after 19 years. I'm not who I was in high school.
Right.
I don't tell him how to get his hair cut, so don't tell me how to do my hair. I will never, ever get a perm again. If I decide to cut my locks, I will have a bald fade. And then Ray said, my lady has dreads and she always wears them up. Yet I like for her to have them down and suggest it, but she barely does. Yeah, so like I mean,
Heathen. I'm just playing.
so I do that for him. If we're going out together, or you know what I mean, then I will wear my hair down
And my
just
face.
because I know that that's how he likes it. But if it's left up to me, I'm gonna have this bun. It's hot and it's doing, but so I guess when you're in the relationship, you do kind of, I guess, here's the thing though. Do you make those changes and allowances? I think it's easy to make them when it doesn't cost you anything and it don't hurt. But how far is too far to go when someone is wanting something or suggesting something? Like even I dated a guy one time that would be like, well, how come you don't wear, we went to church together and I don't look good in two-piece suits.
Praise.
I don't look good in two-piece suits. You know what I mean? I feel like my body shape is weird. But he was like, why don't you wear two-piece suits to church? So for me, I didn't really want to compromise with that because I'm not going out looking crazy to me because it makes you feel better.
Right.
So like, but how much is too much and how do you decide like what is just okay, I'm gonna compromise and do this and what's not?
Like I said, that comes about with conversation because, like I said, like I was saying earlier, at what point does compromise become surrender? You know what I'm saying? It's a very fine line that you got to walk because, like I said, you're trying to take care of, you're trying to please your spouse, trying to please yourself, so that everybody's happy and there's balance.
Yeah, I guess. I don't I don't know. I guess it's a give and take, and I guess that's why communication is really important. Um
Communicado.
I think maybe if it was something that you felt super strong about, I would try to get an understanding of like, well, why is it so important for you? You know what I mean? Because like even like with Angel and her husband, I would maybe be like, well, why is it important for you? Why do you want to see me with my hair permed? Like, why? What does that do for you? Why do you need that? Like, what is that really about?
If I be careful with that, because that could turn into who you trying to have me look like? Huh?
What?
Who do you want me to be that I'm not? Because I'm me.
What?
Listen. I'm trying to tell you. I've been there. I had a relationship with a woman who, like you said, had long hair. It was cool. You know what I'm saying? Got you know deeper in the relationship. It was cool. But then it was like one day she just cut it like mine is, and
That's a
I
drastic
was like,
cut.
oh, like Jamie Foxx said in Breaking the Rules, it was an act of aggression. She aggressed me.
She aggressed you
She did.
because she cut her hair so short.
Yeah.
See, I feel like if I was doing something that drastic, I would talk to you about it first.
Right.
Like, it's one thing to go in and get a trim or whatever. But if I had hair, you know what I mean, down my back and I wanted to cut it like a fade, I feel like I would be like, babe, I'm thinking about like, you know what I mean? I don't feel like that's something, and that would be like you just coming out the bathroom and you've shaved your whole beard off. Like
It can happen.
I'd be looking like, what in the hell? Like I feel like we should have talked about this before you just decided.
Yeah, and it's like, and then like I said, I was younger at the time, so I was a lot more sarcastic, and I didn't really care about. I ain't gonna say I didn't care about hurting feelings, but I was just very. I didn't think before I spoke a lot of times, so I was like, all right, well, I'm about to get his haircut. You want me to fade you up too? I mean, what's going on? How you want to handle that? You know what I'm
You're
saying?
so disrespectful.
It's like, don't talk to me that way. I mean, I'm saying, I'm like, I just want to know because I mean, you're not going to get that some stuff right there. You
He's
be
so
straight.
disrespectful,
You know
y'all.
what I mean? But And
Dude,
apparently you gonna tell that didn't last.
it's so disrespectful, y'all. Like,
I disagree.
okay, so what about like minor changes, like how somebody dresses? Like, let's say you met a woman and she just dressed way too sexy all the time. Is that like something that you could compromise on, and, or you know what I mean? Like, would you ask her on the second date, "You think I dress too sexy? Why are you looking at me like that?"
I never said something. I'm just go on. You know what I'm saying? Go on.
Like, is that something you could compromise on? Would you say to her on the second date, like, "Have you ever thought about wearing shirts that were not so low cut?" Like, what? How do you approach that?
This is my thing. This is the way I look at it. How I meet you when we start dating is, to me, that's you. So if I got a problem with it, I would just opt to not continue trying to date you. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's me. I mean, because I mean, I don't really, I don't really care if we out and everybody looking at you because you're dressing sexy. I don't care. I be like, it's whatever, because she leaving with me, so it don't really matter what you stare all you like.
And I will say that's true. One of the things, and I think that has been the secret ingredient for us, is that we established very early on that we would not try to change each other. So, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Like, you know what I mean? He accepted me for who I am, and I accepted him for who he is. And I think that, you know what I mean? Like you said, if you met me and that's how I was dressing, then why do you assume that because we together now that I'm gonna change how I dress? Although we actually did have that conversation, because I used to, I was trying to explain to him that there's a difference between like single you for me, there's a difference between like single me and married me. So there are things that I did when I was single that I just don't, number one, I don't feel that they're appropriate. And number two, I don't necessarily have the same desire. Like, I used to take pictures all the time. And I used to always, be trying to have sexy pics and stuff like that. And now I'm like, I don't have a need to do that anymore. You know what I mean? Because I got a man. So it just doesn't occur to me as often that, you know what I mean, let me take this sexy pic, or you know what I
You
mean?
sure about that?
Yeah.
It doesn't
If
occur.
I
Hold on, it doesn't occur to you,
no. If
or
I take it now, it's because it's for a purpose. Like, let's say I'm, because we both are still in a lot of Facebook groups that we're both fully aware of. And I may see a post and it'll say something like, post a cleavage pic, let's say. And if I'm in the mood that particular day at that particular time that I see that post, then I might take a cleavage pic. But it used to be a time, excuse me, it used to be a time where I would do it all the time. Like, you know what I mean? And now it's just like,
probably about 3 or 4 of them fixing that jump. Be like, what? What?
right, exactly. And now it's just like, you know what I mean? I don't, it just don't feel the same anymore.
Doesn't feel the same
No,
anymore.
it doesn't. I mean, because let's be honest. Let's keep it a buck.
Let's unpack that.
Let's unpack that.
Okay.
Let's be honest and keep it a buck. Like, the reason that you do that is, whether anybody wants to say it out loud or not, the reason you do that is for attention. You know what I mean? The reason you do that is because you don't got a man. And you know what I mean? Like, that's why you do it. And it's, so if any woman tries to pretend like, no, I do it for me, you know what I mean? It's BS. You know what I'm saying? If you do it for you, then keep them in your phone and you don't got to post them nowhere or send them to nobody if you do it for you. So let's keep it a buck. You don't do it just for you. You do it for attention. You do it for, you know what I mean? So other people can say good things about you and to you. You do it, you know what I mean? For, so you can feel gratified and feel better about yourself, or whatever the case is. And I don't have the same, you know what I mean, desires anymore because I got a man that makes me feel those things.
And hold up, and for the record, I just want to just throw this out there. Please don't anybody be fooled, swayed, confused, thinking that we are saying we're perfect and we have all the answers. Because I'm a jacked up individual. You know what I'm saying? So I've learned some things on my travels on this road called life.
I mean, but we're jacked up together. I mean, because nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. No relationship is perfect. I think we're perfect for each other. You know, and like you said, we both have had past experiences and past relationships that have taught us some things that we decided to actually learn along the way. We both have, had space that we had to do our individual work on
And
our
still doing some.
on ourselves, right? And we're still, you know what I mean. We're still, every now and then we'll come to each other and be like, I was thinking about this, and this is what I'm realizing about me. So, um,
Yeah,
hey Dana.
yeah.
So yeah, so what was I saying before all that? Before you decided to give that caveat that we're not perfect.
So you don't be the moving and fixing this. You got a man. You be chilling. That's what you said in
Oh
a
yeah.
nutshell.
So so I know that you have said that you don't want to feel like you've changed me
Right, 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 right,
in that area.
right, right, right,
So
right.
is that what you feel like? You feel like you've changed me?
I don't know how to say that. I feel like sometimes you change that because of me.
Well, I have, and like, but I don't feel like I've denied the fact that it's been because of you. I mean, although
Sometimes it's the way it comes out.
we are very open minded, and you know what I mean. I still think that we've always agreed that we will be respectful to each other. So I just don't know that you know what I mean. It's always as respectful to post that type of stuff like I used to. And then what happens is, you know what I mean? I got this dude in my inbox now, even though I said to him, yep, me and the husband getting ready to do this. You know what I mean? I posted a cleavage pic yesterday, the day before yesterday. I can't get this dude out my inbox now. You know what I mean? And so I'm just like, I'm over that. Like, I don't have the energy for that.
Dang.
Angel says, I agree, Ebony, because I did change the way I dress because I'm a different. Yeah, because you're different single versus married. When you single, you doing you. You know what I mean? You can have on the shortest dress you want to. And when we go out together, um, I usually still wear probably short and revealing stuff. And even I've gone out with my girlfriends a time or two, and one of them will be like, "Did your husband see you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he saw me." You know what I mean? So we also don't have a lot of insecurities either, because I think that's a big thing too. If you're super jealous or super insecure, then that's gonna be a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? You can't keep nothing that don't want to be kept. So I don't spend a lot of energy, worried about who's talking to him and who's in his. We don't even, both of us will sit next to each other and our inbox will be dinging or whatever. And
That's the story we're gonna tell.
your inbox dings.
That's the story we're gonna tell.
Your inbox dings. So cut it out.
Whatever.
He just because he said his inbox don't ding as much as mine does. But here's the thing, like I told you, even that has waned off. Like people, I think when you carry yourself a certain way and you put it out there where you are, and like is anybody that goes to Angel's page, there's no question she has a husband. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it's a little questionable when I go to people's pages, and I'm not saying that you got to post pictures of them everywhere all over your page, or you got to talk about them 24/7 on your page, but there should be some evidence that I'm clear. Oh, this person is in a relationship. So even the inboxes that I used to get when we first got together, I rarely get those inboxes from men these days. And I think it's because no, I'm not. Except for
Right.
I'm not lying.
I didn't say I'm lying.
Yes, you did.
I mouthed it. I didn't say it.
So I rarely get those same inboxes I used to get because I think it's pretty clear that I'm married.
Yeah.
You know what? Do any of y'all
Want a slightly
do
used,
any of y'all want a slightly used man?
damaged,
Like, do any of y'all want a
sometimes emotionally unavailable.
you are not emotionally unavailable.
I said sometimes.
When are you emotionally unavailable?
I would be to them because I don't know them like that. So they're not
You
getting
gotta
all of
start
me.
all over with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll be getting one word answers. How was your day? Good. What are you eating right now? Chicken. What
And
about you?
and then she gonna leave you.
I'm cool with that.
She gonna leave you because you don't talk. You don't like talking on the phone.
I don't like talking. I be trying to chill. I'd write you notes all day. You putting posting something all over the house.
He's lying. He he is lying because he talks all the time to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
My son knocking on the door. He see and we didn't answer him, so he at the door like, "Hello, can I come in?" I done told my children about busting in our door. One day they gonna see something that they don't really want to see. Anyway, so I guess we're gonna wrap this up. It has been fun
It
talking
was
to
just
you
getting good
guys.
too.
It was just getting
It
good.
was just getting good,
Yeah,
man.
but why? What else you want to say?
We was just getting to the fat.
What was the fat?
Huh?
What was the fat of the conversation?
I don't
You be making us
know. I
stuff.
do.
Thank y'all for joining us. We will see you guys again next week. We're going to have intense fellowship once again next week. We hope you enjoyed yourselves and we appreciate. You can go ahead and keep commenting if you want to. We always go back and read the comments and stuff, and we appreciate y'all. Love you.
And don't forget, as always, conversation is key.
Conversation is key.
I just thought of that. I'm like the
All
black
by
I'm
yourself?
like the black Fraser Crane.
You just thought it all by
I
yourself?
did. It just popped
Okay.
in my head.
Good job.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
What do y'all want?